Dr. Edgar Githua, an international relations diplomacy and security analyst based here in Nairobi, Kenya, to get his perspective. Dr. Githua, welcome to Africa Live as well. What are your thoughts on Trump's immigration policy and on deporting migrants to countries outside of their original homeland?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I think that policy, for me, I find it a bit discriminatory in the sense that if then the administration has decided to deport them, the best thing is to take them back to their homelands. You're exposing these migrants to new cultures, to countries that could eventually turn hostile towards them. You're destabilizing them, and I think the emotional and psychological trauma on these migrants, I think there's a violation of human rights taking place right here. So I believe then if the policy is deportation, then take them back to their homeland and nowhere else.
All right, I guess the important question is, why is the Trump administration doing this? What impact will this policy have on migrants, and what could be the downside of this?
Thank you. Number one, the impact is, number one, there's going to be definitely a shift in the, so to speak, in the American economy, because remember, some of these migrants were performing jobs and duties and were engaged in economic activities which Americans themselves probably don't want to get themselves involved in. Because if we are talking about blue-collar jobs, we're talking about gardening, babysitting, doing the cleaning, and some of those, respectable, so to speak, blue-collar jobs that Americans themselves don't want to do. So the downside is that the gap of losing these migrants is going to be felt in the American economy. Number two, the health of the migrants themselves, the impact on their psychosocial health and well-being is going to be affected. They might, be faced with challenges in the new places they go into. You're exposing them to new cultures, new ways of life they're not used to. So I think there's a lot of more harm is going to be done than good, even though I understand that all nation states definitely want to act in their own interests.
All right, important point that you've made there, Doctor. I guess the all-important question is it possible for third countries to reject the deportees? And what would be the implications for their rejection?
All right. I'm hoping that by the time this decision is reached and you're taking migrants, let's say, to South Sudan or to Rwanda or any other country, the US, America has reached out to that country, number one, to have some sort of agreement. But having said that, it is very easy for the migrants to go into these new countries and be unable to fit in culturally. Maybe there are language barriers. There are so many things. So they were already coming from the US where they already did never fully fit in, probably treated like second-class citizens. Then you take them into a third country where they don't understand the culture and they're unable to fit in. They could experience challenges like xenophobia. What if they're rejected by the population where they've been taken to fit in? So there are all these sorts of challenges that we are looking at. And the biggest for me would be the threat of xenophobia, the rejection by the citizens of the third world countries where these migrants are being taken. Because remember, countries are going through economic recessions, times are hard. Bringing in migrants who are coming to compete for the few jobs available is going to put stresses on the socioeconomic, fabric of whichever society they're going into. So the downside could be they could face xenophobia, they could actually get rejected. And if so, is the US willing to take them and take them back to the US or take them to their homelands? That's a question that needs to be answered.
All right. Dr. Edgar Githua, International Relations Diplomacy and Security Analyst, thank you so much for your insights and analysis.